Well, I'm here at American Real Estate Investments office with American Real PM COO Scotty Mitchell. It's so important oftentimes when you can to have a turnkey company that has in-house property management. They understand each other better. There's less lost in communication, and no one's pointing fingers at each other. So how would you characterize the Dallas market? You've got experience with management in other markets. How does Dallas look? And just talk a little bit about the quality of the tenant within the Dallas market as well.
No, absolutely. The Dallas market is expanding incredibly rapidly. We've got a lot of large companies coming into Dallas from different parts of the country. For example, we've got Toyota's headquarters moving into the Plano area. State Farm just built, I believe it was a 3 million square foot new headquarters for themselves as well. In the area, there's a lot of businesses moving this way, which means a lot of jobs, which means a lot of movement in the real estate area. With that, in the last 3.5 years, I haven't seen it slow down in any way. As far as leasing goes, as far as sales goes, as far as the pricing of homes goes, the equity in the houses. I've seen the market expanding rapidly for 3.5 years straight. I don't see any slowdown of that in any time in the near future.
Yeah, we all look at the demographics and the numbers in this market. I think just driving around Dallas a little bit myself lately, just anecdotally, you kind of have the cranes in the air effect. You see all the new businesses that are here and they're attracting tenants. What's that doing to vacancy rates?
Actually, the vacancy rates aren't going up by all of the new development. There's more people looking than there is product, which is why you see cranes everywhere. And not just with businesses, but also with houses. And that leads into a lot of what we do. We try to get grade A houses. A lot of those are going to be the newer builds, right? And we've got a whole lot of new builds in the last 10 years to pick and choose from. Class A houses, single family homes in the new build sector.
So Scotty, tell us a little bit more about your communication channels between your property management company and the investor. Communication is so important because it's typically out-of-state investors that we have that want to invest in this market.
No, absolutely. Communication is one of the most important parts of property management company. And in the communication department, we have multiple levels or ways that you can communicate with American Real PM as an investor. We have an online portal system that every owner has access to 24/7. You can communicate through that online portal as well. Obviously, I have emails. My company has emails that can be communicated to, and I pick up the phone as much as I possibly can. The goal that I have is that we're going to return any communication within a 24-hour period, regardless of what that communication is about. Even if that communication is just, got it, I hear what you have said.
What is it that American Property Management is doing to go ahead and help retain that tenant?
No, absolutely. We're going to be negotiating, making sure that the tenant doesn't have any issues outstanding that is preventing them from renewing. We're also going to reach out to them to make sure that they're aware of what their options are. We're going to offer them an actual renewal. It's going to have the per annum renewal, which is typically going to have a 3 to 5% increase. It's also going to have a month-to-month renewal. We're going to discuss those options with the tenant and then make sure that we get the renewal back as soon as we possibly can.
What about instituting 2-year leases for investors? What are the prospects of doing that?
Absolutely. I actually recommend 2-year leases or more. Again, we're trying to keep vacancy out as much as possible. I typically don't recommend that on the initial lease. The initial lease, I would recommend a 12-month lease so that you and the tenant, the owner and the tenant can get to know each other. We can make sure the tenant's paying on time. The tenant can make sure that the owner's taking care of the place. And then after that relationship is built, I highly recommend a 2-year lease.
Okay. And then would there be an escalator in there with a 2-year lease? For example, would the rent step up if year one?
Absolutely. Typically on a 2-year lease, that is what is going to happen. There's going to be, for the first year, a certain amount, for the second year, a different amount. But that's going to be per deal, right? And that's part of that renewal fee as well, is negotiating those terms of if there's an escalation. If we just bump it a little bit higher and keep it the same for the full 2 years, but at a little bit higher rate, comes out usually about the same for the investor, but sometimes the tenant feels a little bit better going that route.
Now, in some markets I don't know that one could necessarily get a 3 to 5% increase as a rent escalator after year one of a 2-year lease. However, in Dallas-Fort Worth, with all the job growth and all the income and all the influx of people here, I see that as something that might potentially work.
I've been doing it for 3.5 years now, every year without fail on every lease.
And how much does it step up to in the escalator?
Typically, it's going to be, again, it's a negotiation between the owner and the tenant. Typically, I see it around 5%.
All right, so that's it for Scotty from American Real PM and I. It's been great to learn more about management here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market with American Real Estate Investments. Thanks, Scotty.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure meeting you. Come back anytime.
I will.